connecting neighborhoods across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, telling stories from within our communities. This is Good Morning Idaho.
Good morning, Idaho. I'm neighborhood reporter Riley Shoemaker. This morning, our large team of neighborhood reporters are bringing you stories from your community. Coming up in a news story this morning, our Brady Caskey shows us a critical upgrade for firefighters battling blazes across the West as they get a new air center. Plus, our Greenlee Clark highlights a local traveling coffee stand, providing caffeinated refreshments to the firefighters protecting our lands. The founding couple getting the idea after last summer's Wapiti fire. More on all that coming up in just a moment. But first, let's have a check at the weather with our Sophia Cruz. Speaking of fires, what's the outlook on the weather coming up this week and how that might impact some of the ongoing fires we're seeing?
Well, we are still hot and dry, Riley, and we will see those breezy winds. So again, it's always that fire danger that we look at first, especially when we haven't seen very much rain or necessarily just a break from the heat. And this weekend, it is going to get pretty hot across our neck of the woods, but also the entirety of the Pacific Northwest. So I'll be going into detail about that more in my extended forecast. But as you get ready for your morning, you guessed it, it's still a toasty one out there. You've got lower 60s as you make your way out the door for breakfast. By lunchtime, if you want to sit on the patio, still good weather to do so. You'll have to sit with those lower 80s. And then as we head into the afternoon, we'll be stopping at those lower 90s, which is pretty nice in comparison to what we'll see coming our way this weekend. But Riley, this weekend we are going to hit the century mark, 100 degrees. I know it's not everyone's favorite weather, but at least it'll still be sunny.
You know what, Sophia, I keep saying I'm not ready for back to school weather quite yet, even though, most districts are back to school. So I'll hold on to that heat for now. We're turning now to a devastating story out of Canyon County. It's our top story this morning. New court documents are outlining details in the murder of a Caldwell teen, including a confession from the suspect in the case, her father. Canyon County neighborhood reporter Victoria Rodriguez reports.
In Caldwell, new details from the Canyon County Courthouse, where a father is being charged for murdering his daughter, appears in front of a judge.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes.
51-year-old Delbert Cornish, seen here at his arraignment, will remain in Canyon County custody, charged with first-degree murder and aggravated assault.
Did willfully and unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Hope Serene Ray Cornish, a human being, by shooting her, from which she died.
Cornish is charged with fatally shooting his 18-year-old adoptive daughter Hope, who family tells us went by Onyx. We visited the Caldwell neighborhood where Onyx was killed on Monday, and a neighbor tells us the family kept to themselves. Cornish lived there with his brother and 2 teenage kids. Court documents we received through public records requests outline key details in the case, including a confession. Records show Cornish told the detective, "I'm not going to lie, I did it," and even left behind multiple notes, including one written in the living room wall, saying, "I'm a man of my word, my kids died by my hand, and I'm going. My kids are going with me." The document says Cornish had a plan in place to kill all of his children and then himself. Cornish told detectives after he killed Onyx, he also killed her cat and covered Onyx's body with a pride flag, something he said meant a lot to her. When Cornish's teenage son got home from school that day, he tried to intervene and managed to disarm his dad, leave the house, and call 911. Records show Cornish then drove to his ex-girlfriend's house in Mountain Home, where he was arrested Monday evening. Onyx's aunt says the family is devastated by this tragedy and shared these pictures with Idaho News 6, including the last photo Onyx took with her mother. Cornish will be back in court for his preliminary hearing on September 3rd. I'm your Canyon County neighborhood reporter, Victoria Rodriguez, for Idaho News 6.
Was arrested yesterday on 10 felony counts of possession of child sexually exploitive material. According to Meridian Police, a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children led authorities to identify 58-year-old Sean Sorensen as a suspect. After executing a search warrant on Sorensen's residence, officers say they discovered evidence of child sexual abuse material and was booked into Ada County Jail later that day. Boise Fire yesterday afternoon responding to a house fire at a single-family home on the 2700 block of Cole Road. You can see in the photos here the fire entirely scorching the back porch of the home. According to a post from Boise Fire, the chimney and roof both collapsed during response, requiring crews to withdraw, but they managed to bring the fire under control from outside the house. No civilians or firefighters were hurt, and the cause of the fire remains under investigation. The lightning-started rock fire burning near Tamarack Resort continues to grow and remains at 0% containment. Crews are continuing to work on reinforcing dozer lines, and they say containment will only increase once firefighters confirm the fire poses no risk of breaching containment lines around the fire. We showed you the evacuation levels. They remain the same, with the resort and nearby residents advised to be set to leave at any moment. 2 more zones to the south remain in level 1, or ready status. More than 720 people are fighting the fire on the ground and from the air. It's now burned more than 2,700 acres in that beautiful West Mountain area. A community meeting is set for tonight at the Donnelly Rural Fire Protection District. It starts at 6 p.m.
Upgrades are on the way for firefighters working across the West. I'm your South Boise neighborhood reporter Brady Caskey here at NIFC, getting an inside look at the new BLM Air Center that will house several programs under one roof.
Basically, it is the first of a kind for the National Aviation Program to build a facility here. It's not going to be the last.
Marshall Thompson with the National Interagency Fire Center in Boise says the NIFC campus is growing as they add a new air center that will be home to the air attack and heli-tac programs.
They saw a need and an opportunity to be able to move both programs into one location and get into a single point where they could coordinate efforts.
The new facility will feature offices, mechanical bays, a ready room, and access to the tarmac, all focused around aerial firefighting resources like air attack.
Our air attack personnel will be housed out of here, as well as the air attack plane.
The air attack plane acts as the eyes in the sky and helps guide things like large air tankers and helicopters to where they're needed on large fires.
The heli-tac program from the Boise district, they can deliver personnel from the heli-tac program, return, put a bucket on, and then start supplying water resources.
The building will start off as home for the heli-tac, air attack, and single-engine aircraft managers, and will be a hub where local and national resources can work together to fight fires across the region.
So even though we may have Boise District heli-tac program based out of Boise here at the new aviation center, that doesn't mean that resource might not be pulled to the southwest early in the season when there's needs down there. And that coordination happens at the National Aviation Program here at NIFC.
If all goes to plan, the Air Center will be open and fully staffed come December. Reporting at NIFC, I'm Brady Caskey for Idaho News 6.
The Western Idaho Fair still underway, and tonight it's a special treat for millennials, the All-American Rejects. The band has been in the news in recent months after bringing the nostalgia of decades past with their house party tour. The Rejects touring college campuses, providing free and impromptu house shows, turning backyards and garages across the country into viral concert venues. And the band has also announced a special pop-up event for tonight's concert at the Boise Record Exchange. They'll have a limited number of copies of their upcoming album, the band's first in more than a decade. If you buy one, they'll even autograph it for you. That event starts at 1 p.m. When we get back, the stage is set for Texas to make their redistricting move to pick up 5 seats in the House. Democrats vowing to fight back with their own congressional map redrawings.
All right, your time is 6:11, and thanks for joining us on Friday, Junior, Thursday, whatever you like to call it. Our neighborhood of the day is Boise, and if you're heading out here this afternoon, it is going to be on the toaster, and we'll sit with those lower 90s. Plenty of sunshine, but I'm going to be showing you how things change as we head into the weekend. We're planning to head this to the century mark, and also we'll see a bit of wildfire smoke built in.
Taking a look at your national headlines this morning, President Trump is ramping up pressure on the Federal Reserve as central bankers meet in Wyoming today. Fed Chair Jerome Powell will give the keynote speech, possibly signaling a modest rate cut. Trump wants deeper cuts and is now calling for both Powell and Fed Governor Lisa Cook to resign. A Trump administration official claims Cook may have committed mortgage fraud. Cook denies the accusations and says she will not, quote, be bullied into resigning. Federal prosecutors are fighting Sean Diddy Combs' request to throw out his conviction on prostitution-related charges. In paperwork filed late Wednesday night, prosecutors say Combs organized elaborate sexual events involving hired sex workers who crossed state lines. A jury convicted him on 2 Mann Act charges in July. Combs is in jail in Brooklyn awaiting sentencing in October. A parole hearing is scheduled for the Menendez brothers in Los Angeles Thursday. The brothers have been in prison for nearly 30 years after being convicted of murdering their parents in 1996. They were sentenced to life in prison and were 18 and 21 at the time. The brothers became eligible for parole in May after a judge reduced their sentence. The case recaptured public attention after a documentary was released last year. Turning now to the issue of congressional redistricting. After weeks of debate and protests, the Republican-controlled Texas House sent new congressional maps to the state Senate that will likely favor their party in upcoming midterm elections. Now lawmakers in other states are looking to do the same. And today, the California legislature will vote on their own plan to redraw congressional maps. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with details.
The controversial plan to redraw the congressional map in Texas appears to be a done deal. Lawmakers in Texas voting along party lines with all 88 House Republicans backing the bill that could give Republicans 5 additional seats in Congress in next year's midterm elections. The new maps were drawn at the request of President Trump in an effort to keep Republicans in control of Congress next year. The president posting on social media overnight saying, quote, big win for the great state of Texas. Everything passed, on our way to 5 more congressional seats and saving your rights. It comes more than 2 weeks after dozens of Democrats left the state to delay the vote. Democratic lawmakers were later assigned mandatory police escorts to make sure they wouldn't leave the state again.
They're trying to harm people of color with these rigged maps. The fight is personal to me, and I'm going to fight with every fiber in my body.
Democrats say the new maps were drawn based on race, which is illegal, but Republicans say the move is purely political and therefore legal. Now governors in Democratic-led states are threatening to do the same thing. New York Governor Kathy Hochul tweeting game on in response to the news. California Governor Gavin Newsom posting it's on Texas. To counter Texas's move, Newsom has vowed to push through a new California map, temporarily redrawing districts for the next few elections in a bid to reclaim 5 seats for Democrats. Today, the California legislature will vote on a plan to redraw their congressional maps. If it passes, it still needs to be approved by California voters. Former President Obama now backing Newsom's plan, saying it's, quote, designed to address a very particular problem at a very particular moment in time. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
After the break, the latest on Hurricane Erin as conditions on the East Coast worsen this morning and North Carolina's Outer Banks prepare to bear the brunt of the storm.
Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
All right, well, good morning to you. Your time right now is 6:17, and I hope you've been having a good week so far. Weekends on the horizon, and so is the heat. Now, I do want to talk about our wildfire smoke first because there are going to be notable changes from today as we head into our Friday. So taking a look right now, this shows us Thursday morning. Not very much change here in our Treasure Valley, but if you were anywhere stretching over into eastern Idaho, that is where that light smoke will start to build in. We will see it make its way back onto the forecast, going a little bit more denser out there for our friends in McCall, Cascade, and Idaho City. It eventually starts to make its way down into our valley floor, so Treasure Valley into Friday morning, it's going to be a bit hazier out there. So heads up again, we are still looking at active wildfires across our surrounding states and also up in northern Idaho. So that's what's really helping build and develop that wildfire smoke into our Friday. But on top of that, it is contributing to some poor air quality as you make your way up towards the northeast. Now, this is primarily as you head over towards Salmon and start to stretch into Montana. For us, that's not really affecting much of our air quality. We may just continue to see that green mark, but we could see it grow a little bit closer towards that yellow category where it turns to moderate. Still not bad though, and it's still okay to be outside. So I just want to confirm that to you. As far as what our morning looks like, it is a little bit cooler out there. So waking up, you have noticed that there has been a temperature change. We saw a weak cold front move through, and so that really affected our morning lows, bringing them down about 4 or 5 degrees. So lower to mid 60s in our valley floors, 46 waking up in Stanley. By the afternoon ahead, it'll still be pretty copy and paste, but the big weather maker for us this week has been this upper level ridge that's just been dominating the heat down south. So down towards Las Vegas, Phoenix, Bakersfield, Los Angeles, heat advisories, extreme heat warnings are in place. And just to give you a good look of what they're sitting with, it doesn't feel great. You've got 111 in Phoenix this afternoon, 109 in Las Vegas. As you make your way closer to the coast, it gets a little bit better out in San Diego, about 83. But even then, Fresno, Sacramento, and as you start to make your way further inland, it's triple digits. Now for us, we aren't looking at triple digit heat for today just yet, but that will make its way back into the forecast as we head into the weekend. For this afternoon, pretty similar to yesterday, mid 90s and 80s following in our mountains. And as we get ready for the weekend ahead, the hottest day is going to come on Saturday. So you'll notice Saturday we've got 99, mid 90s continuing to Sunday. So it's a little bit better out there. And as we start to approach September, still a warmer than normal outlook. And it looks like portions of our eastern states, or really eastern states, so here in Idaho, are going to be seeing a slight cool down. Now we do see a little bit of a cool down into next week, and just to give you a good idea, you've got 99 by Saturday, and the next Wednesday, an 80 finally on the board. Now I'll keep you up to date right here throughout our morning. Coming up in our next half hour, we'll talk about your roads.
Overnight conditions deteriorating along the East Coast as Hurricane Erin churns closer to shore. The storm's outer bands hitting North Carolina's Outer Banks. Dangerous surf crashing ashore, threatening homes and businesses.
We do have a number of threatened oceanfront structures. These are houses that no longer have a protective dune in front of them. They're very vulnerable to the waves, to the high surf.
The high swells flowing over this dune and flooding Highway 12, the main road running the length of the islands. A portion of it closed down overnight. North Carolina's governor pre-positioning swift water rescue teams and National Guard troops, urging drivers to stay away from flooded roadways.
Don't do it. You do not know how deep the water is or how fast it is running.
Utility crews in Dare County standing by, ready to respond to any power outages. The massive hurricane now growing in size as it moves towards the northeast. The storm causing powerful rip currents from Florida to Maine.
It's brutal. It's so strong out there, and the undertow is honestly dangerous.
Many beaches shut down, including in New York City, where these surfers couldn't resist the waves that could reach up to 20 feet high today. Officials on the New Jersey shore warning people to not only stay out of the water, but off the beach entirely.
You can get a rogue set of waves coming in, and if you're on the beach, comes in, it'll take your feet right out from under you and pull you right out.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Here in the Treasure Valley, a 1974 camper gets a new look, becoming a solar-powered mobile coffee cart. A camper from the 70s is getting rebuilt into a solar-powered mobile coffee cart. I'm your neighborhood reporter, Greenlee Clark, and today I went behind the scenes to see how the owners are making it happen and the goals they have to serve the community. What started with a small espresso machine at home grew into Ridge Espresso and Soda. Tristan Stuffelbeam, who repairs beverage equipment for a living, bought a 1974 Bell coach about a year and a half ago and began to rebuild it from scratch. Last summer, the Stuffelbeams went camping in Stanley, around the same time the Wapiti fire was active. Seeing fire crews work in difficult conditions gave Tristan the idea of a traveling coffee cart.
I mean, they're doing a lot of work, and the least we could do is to try to get something together that we could actually bring the coffee to them, bring it to right up to them where their tents are. And if we have to be up at 3 in the morning to serve them coffee, I'm hoping that we are able to do that service for them.
Tristan replaced rotted material with pine and maple, part of making sure the shop smells like a coffee house, not an old camper. The cart being powered with solar panels will also help with traveling light.
And the other part is sound, and we really didn't want to have like a big generator making loud noises while we're trying to make coffee. It kind of ruins the whole atmosphere.
Every step of this project has centered on Idaho pride and their faith, partnering with other local businesses and creating a small town feel.
The love that we have for coffee, to have the love for our community that we have, is more of the love that Christ has for us. Coffee's good. Coffee brings people together. Even if you don't like coffee, we're going to have soda. You might like something there, Italian soda, something like that. We want something for everybody because we want to have that camaraderie. We want to bring that community back together.
The Ridge Espresso and Soda Cart will be open to the public by the end of this year. They've been posting about their progress online, which you can follow along by finding the link to this story at idahonews6.com. Reporting in Caldwell, I'm your neighborhood reporter, Greenlee Clark, for Idaho News 6.
That looks like some good coffee. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on Good Morning Idaho. We have so much more in store, and here's a look at what's still to come from your neighborhood reporters.
On the Boise bench, why these speed limit signs carry real significance for neighbors nearby, pushing for safer streets in their neighborhood.
In Haley, a new critical emergency service to cover the entire Wood River Valley.
Now we'll look outside from the Treasure Valley Chevy Dealers Tower Cam.
Connecting neighborhoods across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, telling stories from within our communities. This is Good Morning Idaho.
Welcome back to Good Morning Idaho. I'm neighborhood reporter Riley Shoemaker. Idaho News 6 has a lot in store for you this morning from our large team of neighborhood reporters. New this morning, our Joey Martin highlights the life-saving addition of a new base of operations for life flights in the Wood River Valley. Plus, in this week's Love Your Neighborhood, our very own Sophia Cruz highlights rediscovered books as they encourage the community to read more and have given away thousands of banned books. Before all that, let's bring in our Sophia Cruz for a check on the weather. Sophia, is it book reading weather? What is book reading weather, really?
Okay, realistically, when I think of book reading weather, I think of nice, cozy weather with a little bit of rain, maybe some Taylor Swift music going, pumpkin spice latte. I can't wait for fall, as you can tell. But either way, it doesn't feel like fall today, so if you are reading your book outside, you're going to want to do so with some shade. Now, this morning, it's nice and cool, so you have the morning time to enjoy the outdoor weather. You've got a nice, also sunrise kicking us off on our Thursday morning or Friday Eve, whichever you like to call it. It just means the weekend is right around the corner. Now, we will touch into the lower 90s today. We're not anywhere near the record high or low, but things are going to heat up as we head into the weekend, Riley.
Thanks so much, Sophia. You know, I'm not opposed to some warmer weather, back to school weather. And speaking of schools, we have a quick school update for parents in Jerome as they issue with buses. The Jerome School District leading to school being canceled today and tomorrow. The Jerome School District says the bus fleet had issues on Wednesday, and they've since identified several repairs that need to be made. More information on that will be sent to parents through the school messenger platform. Classes are scheduled to resume on Monday. Now to your neighborhood news. Boise bench residents and commuters will now see slower speeds near Nez Perce Street. Neighborhood reporter Sahana Patel spoke with neighbors who rallied for change, some of them hoping to see this changed years ago.
More than 65 signatures from neighbors all across the Boise bench leads to real change and reduced speeds. I'm your Boise bench neighborhood reporter Sahana Patel, back out here on Nez Perce Street, where we previously reported ongoing efforts to improve safety and lower speed limits in this neighborhood. Now we're checking back in as neighbors are celebrating these new signs, lowering the speed limit by 5 miles per hour.
I didn't know that child. It stuns me when people are killed in my neighborhood.
The speed limit on Nez Perce Street was 30 miles per hour. Now it's 25, following the death of an 8-year-old bike rider near Whitney Elementary this summer.
This is a very easy street to go 40 on.
very easy.
Representative John Gannon has pushed for safer streets on the bench for 3 decades. He says the speed change and the lane striping was in motion long before this tragedy.
I've been down to Ada County Highway District, testified last November.
The street, lined with homes and children walking to school, has been a top concern for neighbors who fought for change.
We've been working on this in our neighborhood for a long time, since 2014. I actually have a sign in my front yard that says if you want to go over the speed limit, take Overland.
We first spoke with Michelle Price earlier this summer.
How many more tragedies do we need for them to be concerned for this road?
She says this change is a relief.
It's not just for my kiddos, it's for all the kids and everyone around this community.
But residents say safety improvements should not stop here.
Yeah, I was glad that they'd done something, but I thought in the back of my mind it takes a tragedy to get something done.
So I think if they had maybe one other crosswalk with a light in between, that would help calm things down.
Community members say they aren't done yet. They are still working to reduce speeds near Latah and Jefferson by Jefferson Elementary. I'm your Boise Bench neighborhood reporter Sahana Patel for Idaho News 6.
Taking the train to work, it's an idea that's been batted around for decades, but now it could be one step closer to becoming a reality in the Treasure Valley. The Community Planning Association of Southwest Idaho, or COMPAS, has selected a commuter rail along the existing east-west rail corridor as the preferred option for future study. That's the blue line you see in the middle of the map. The possible high-capacity transit service would connect the cities of Boise, Meridian, Nampa, and Caldwell, and serve a Treasure Valley population that's expected to hit 1.1 million people by the year 2050. As the study progresses, the next major hurdle will be finding a funding source. A third confirmed case of measles has Idaho health officials warning the public to take precautions, as it's likely measles is circulating in the community, at least in North Idaho. The most recent case is an unvaccinated child in Bonner County and does not appear to be connected to last week's confirmed case in Kootenai County. As we reported, another case of measles was confirmed in an eastern Idaho resident earlier this month, as well as an international traveler in that area. Both of those cases were isolating. The Panhandle Health District is asking North Idaho residents to double check their vaccination records. Measles is a viral disease spread when an infected person breathes, coughs, or sneezes, and cases can multiply quickly. Someone is considered immune to the disease if they were born before 1957, if they have had a confirmed case of measles, or if they have gotten both doses of the MMR vaccines.
More people moving to and recreating in the Wood River Valley, the need for fast and reliable rescue services grows with that population. I'm your Wood River Valley neighborhood reporter Joey Martin, learning more about the recent announcement from Lifelight Network on their plans to set up a new base of operations right here in Haley.
The community asked and we listened. Lifelight 76 will be the call sign for this base coming to Haley.
The largest air medical transport system in Idaho is getting bigger, as Lifelight will soon be saving lives in the mountains and valleys of central Idaho.
We have 6 other bases in Idaho and 2 fixed-wing bases as well in Boise, but this will be brand new.
As for what Lifelight brings to the table,
you know, the reality of air medicine is that we do provide life-saving procedures. We have a flight nurse, flight paramedic, and pilot on board, but what we really offer is time and speed.
The new Haley base of operations is located inside a hangar on the grounds of Friedman Memorial Airport, putting these lifesavers in the perfect location to serve the entire Wood River Valley.
Our plan is to try and seamlessly integrate in with fire, EMS, and law enforcement, and the local hospital system, and so that we can work together to really bring another level of patient care to the community.
For years, it was up to Air St. Luke's to take all the calls. Now, the addition of Lifelight effectively doubles the presence of life-saving opportunities in the Wood River Valley.
You know, we don't see it as a competition. We see it as working side by side and working alongside them to provide high-level critical care transport to the residents of this valley.
Currently, the hangar sits bare, but with an opening day set for September 15th, neighbors in the Wood River Valley will soon start seeing life flight everywhere they look.
The new base expects aircraft and all the equipment to start moving in next month. Reporting in Haley, I'm your neighborhood reporter, Joey Martin, Idaho News 6.
A grand opening celebration and ribbon cutting today at Boise Airport to welcome the addition of new food, drink, and retail concessions. Treefort Outpost Food and Drink, the Idaho Tap House, and the Still among the new vendors, along with retail shops from Boise Depot and Sawtooth Essentials. We'll be live to show you the scene in our 11 a.m. show.
It feels like just yesterday the Boise State Broncos were competing in the college football playoffs, but football season is already back, and Boise State Athletics are hoping you'll download their revamped Bronco Sports app to help navigate game day. Features include a new interactive map to help with everything from finding food to finding a parking spot. It's also packed full of videos, schedules, stats, even mobile ticketing options. Just search for the Bronco Sports app in your app store. The Broncos home opener is set for September 5th against the Eastern Washington Eagles.
All right, let's take a look now at what's happening today in your neighborhood. Officials are hosting a community meeting tonight for the rock fire burning on the edge of Tamarack Resort. The rock fire has burned nearly 2,800 acres this morning. And while crews are making progress, containment remains at 0%. That meeting is set for 6 p.m. at the Donnelly Rural Fire Protection District. Over in Nampa, it's the third Thursday Street Festival, voted best local family event in Best of Canyon County 2024. You can expect an evening packed with art, music, and community fun. That's going on in downtown Nampa from 6 to 9, and you can join in a guided art walking tour at 7 and 8 p.m. And it's a special treat for millennials at the Western Idaho Fair tonight, the All-American Rejects. The band has been in the news in recent months with their house party tour hitting college campuses and turning backyards and garages into viral concert venues for free. The Rejects have also announced a special pop-up event before tonight's concert at the fair at the Boise Record Exchange. That event starts at 1 p.m. Today, the Menendez brothers will come the closest they've been to freedom in almost 30 years. For the first time ever, they'll be making their cases for parole. Details coming up.
A pivotal day for the Menendez brothers in their fight for freedom 36 years after the murder of their parents in Beverly Hills. The brothers now facing the parole board.
The key question is, do they pose an unreasonable risk to society? And they are going to come in and say, look at all the painting projects that we've done at the prison, and we've helped elderly, and we've done all these good things. We've gone to college. One's gotten married. It's going to be all of these things that they've done. But if they were to get out, would they pose a risk to society?
They were initially convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, but evidence revealed in a Netflix docuseries sparked new interest in the case and a push for their release.
They are filled with remorse over what they did, and through that, they have become pretty remarkable people.
They were later resentenced to 50 years to life in prison, which now makes them eligible for parole, which their family wants.
They're in an interesting situation. They're the victim's family, but they're also their family and pushing for their release. And then you've got the DA on the other side who's saying, do not release them, that they are a risk to the public, that they have lied through all of this, that they have never come clean. The parole board members are going to listen to all of that.
Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Hey everybody, 6:43 is your time, and happy Friday Eve to you. As you get ready for the day, our neighborhood of the day is Boise. Now, as you head into this afternoon, we'll be touching into the lower 90s. Plenty of sunshine out there, but things are only going to heat up as we head into the weekend. I'll also be showing you this week's Love Your Neighborhood coming up in just a bit.
Your Neighborhood, brought to you by ICCU.
You should celebrate who you are now, where you're going and where you've been. Well, there's a book here for everyone. This week's Love Your Neighborhood is Rediscovered Books here in Boise, where your next adventure is just a book away.
Welcome to our new location. Rediscovered Books is a local indie bookstore. We will be celebrating our 19th birthday in September. We have every genre. We have amazing booksellers.
Do you have any books on weather?
Do we? Absolutely. If you'll follow me, I can take you right there.
Thank you.
We firmly believe that everybody's story has a right to be on the shelf, and everybody has the right to have access to all stories. Our shelves are curated to reflect as many stories as possible.
Thank you so much.
A pleasure.
Yep. These are our Read Freely books, most of them for this year. Every year we try and give out 1,000 books. We're giving out books that are banned, challenged, or we think have real merit in starting a conversation. And to date, we have given out almost 6,000 books. We think reading is incredibly important for a lot of reasons, but one of the biggest ones is it allows us to develop empathy, right? It makes us better people. It makes us more understanding humans. Reading books makes us a better community because we can see other people's stories who are different than ours, or we can see our stories reflected in a book. We're moving into the holidays. If you can shop local, shop local. That makes all the difference in the world. Your money stays in the community far more when you shop local and you're paying local people who live here, who then spend money at local businesses. I mean, it keeps that money in the community and it makes the community a stronger place. Our motto is, we are the place where books and people meet. But for 2025, we've decided to make the store a place where people and people meet.
That's the chapter for this week's Love Your Neighborhood. Proof the best stories aren't only in books. Come check them out in downtown Boise at Rediscovered Books. Sophia Cruz, Idaho News 6.
Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
All right, well, it is certainly some nice book reading weather for the morning, so if you're maybe heading downtown, Rediscover Books is a really good place to check out. It's also a local bookstore. Now, your time right now is about 6:48, so if you are waking up with us this morning, good morning to you. We are almost to our weekend, so hang in there, but as you take a look at Sun Valley Resort, here's a still shot. You can see it's very hazy to kick off the morning here. It is going to grow hazier as you head into this afternoon, and while it's nice and cool right now, we also will be looking at things warm up as we head into this afternoon and into the weekend. The big weather maker for us is this high pressure that's just down to our south. As it starts to expand, we increase in heights, which also means we're increasing in temperatures. So as these lines get further and further apart, that's really just a warning sign from Mother Nature that it's going to get pretty hot. Hottest down to our south. Now, for us, we don't see too much of this heat, but you got 111 in Phoenix, 106 in Tucson, 109 as you head into Las Vegas, closer to home, mid-90s in our valley floor with those 80s to follow in our mountains. Yesterday, it wasn't too bad if you were in the shade, especially with the light breeze. Breezes aren't as strong today, so we're sitting in the teens. We don't really get very much past that. Into our Saturday, same story goes. So it is going to get pretty hot as we approach the weekend. On top of that, it's going to also be pretty clear out there. So this is Thursday evening, not very much change on this map. Same story goes for Friday, barely any clouds. That's a good indicator that if you're spending any time outside, grab the sunscreen, the water, take the shade breaks, and also just spend some time in the AC. We'll get a few clouds build in our Saturday evening, and then we'll start to see a chance of isolated storms as you make your way down into Utah and Nevada, so near our bordering states. But for us, it's going to be pretty quiet, and mostly we're just going to be talking about the heat. On top of the heat, we will look at wildfire smoke start to build in through our Friday morning, so not very much change today, but by Friday to noon, this will really change across McCall, Cascade, Idaho City, Boise, Ontario. We'll see that smoke slowly start to build in. Our air quality still looks good, which is the good news about it, but again, just a heads up, it is going to get hazy. Into Saturday, we'll reach about 99, mid-90s into Sunday. Then by next week, we do have an 80 on the board that's in store for our Wednesday with a slight chance of storms. So it is going to get gradually cooler. We just got to keep hanging in there. All right, let's get you ready now to head into your morning commute.
The Idaho News 6 traffic report is brought to you by Champion Windows.
All right, it is 6:50 and we are giving you a live look of downtown. It's pretty quiet out there. You'll notice that the sun's coming up, and as it does, it feels nice and cool for your morning. But as we get ready for the afternoon again, remember, don't forget to grab the water bottle as you head out the door. Here's a look at I-84 at Cuner Meridian eastbound. Not too much change this morning. It is starting to pick up just a little bit out there, but overall it's pretty quiet. Karcher Road looking at stop and go in both those east and westbound lanes. Closer to downtown, it's a nice quiet start to our morning.
In this morning's GMA First Look, what one North Carolina mom on the trip of a lifetime did to get back her passport from alleged stealing pickpocketers.
You stole my purse with my passport in it.
Watch as this mother of 8 took a fistful of an alleged teenage pickpocketer's hair and dragged her down a Venice street. The dramatic confrontation caught on camera and posted to Facebook after the woman says the teen stole her purse and passport while on the vacation. One of her daughters also sharing the video on TikTok. And this morning, her daughter Lauren speaking out to GMA.
Watching it was wild because that's our mom and everyone's protective of their mom. Seeing our mom hold her own, it was impressive and we're proud.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more of the family story and the expert tips you need to stay safe on vacation. With your GMA First Look, I'm Lionel Moise, ABC News, New York.
News 6 Allergy Report is brought to you by Boise Valley Asthma and Allergy Clinic.
All right, your allergy count, we are back in the high category. So if you're susceptible to chenopod, grass, sage, you're going to want to refrain from spending all of your time outdoors and just carry that allergy medicine with you. I'll be showing you the rest of the week coming up in just a bit.
We're just wrapping up here, and in case you missed it, these are the top stories that we're following from our neighborhood reporters. And of course, you can learn more all about these online. Check it out.
A new air center underway at NIFC will house multiple aerial firefighting resources under one roof. The new BLM facility costs $5.8 million and will house the local heli attack and air attack programs under one roof. The project is slated to be completed in December.
New emergency services coming soon to the Wood River Valley.
The hangar for the base is secured, and on September 15th, neighbors in the Wood River Valley will have a second air ambulance service. Life Flight Network expects to hit the ground running, providing life-saving services for all of Central Idaho.
Here in the Treasure Valley, a 1974 camper gets a new look, becoming a solar-powered mobile coffee cart. The owners of the cart and coffee business have been sharing their progress online with the goal of bringing all neighborhoods together. A big spark behind the traveling coffee shop was from the family witnessing firefighters in wildfire action, looking for a way to give back.
All of these amazing stories from our team of neighborhood reporters on our website. Just head to idahonews6.com.
Now, the Out the Door forecast, brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors.
All right, let's get you out the door. As you do so, grab the sunglasses and some water. Heading through your morning, we'll be sitting in those upper 60s through 9 a.m. By lunchtime, we'll be touching into the 70s, start to break away into the 80s. Not too bad into then, but into the afternoon, we'll stop at those lower 90s, which is some nice and much needed relief. The heat turns on just in time as we head into the weekend. So if you want to read more about the forecast, head on over to idahonews6.com. Otherwise, let's get you ready for work and school.
The Idaho News 6 Traffic Report is brought to you by Champion Windows.
Okay, a time check for you. It's 6:57 and we are giving you a look of downtown where the sun is coming up. It's Friday Eve, and as you make your way out the door this morning, it's nice and quiet across most of our neighborhoods. Meridian, if you're heading on West Cherry Lane or West Franklin Road, looks to be nice and quiet here. Closer to I said a different word. Highway 44, as you make your way across that, looks nice and quiet also. Haven't seen too much change this morning, but things are starting to build up slightly, so if you're making your way down from Chinden Boulevard to US 20 eastbound, just under 14 minutes, not too bad. I-84 eastbound overall still looks nice and quiet. Caldwell to Garrity, though, starting to pick up just a bit at under 17 minutes, and you've got between 8 to 7 minutes as you make your way along I-84 eastbound. So nice and quiet to start our Thursday morning or Friday Eve. Happy Friday Eve, Riley.
Happy Friday Eve. Do you have any big plans this weekend? I think I might head back to the fair.
Yeah, the fair. You had a lot of fun at the fair yesterday, actually.
Oh, I sure did. You can see here my friend Avocado, the sea lion. It was quite the interaction, really. I was, approaching closer and closer to Avocado. I knew that she was going to come in for a little kiss, and then she came around the other side and started to give me, like a hug, and that I was not expecting. But what really got me was that I guess she was doing her trick where she smiles, and that comes with this sort of hissing sound. So you couldn't really hear it on air, but she was basically hissing in my ear. And it was a friendly hiss, but it was a little off-putting.